Hello, my name is Chris Shea. I'm a financial advisor with BPS Financial Services. And this presentation is going to be on paying yourself first, which is something I hope that everyone wants to do. So paying yourself first, what do you know or want to learn about saving your money for yourself instead of giving it to others? I'm going to go over the agenda, ground rules. Essentially, if you've got questions, fire them off to me. Be happy to talk to you about anything that you got questions about. And I'm also going to introduce myself. So the objectives. Why is it important to save money? Determine some of your goals for saving money. I'm going to identify some saving options, determine which options will help you reach your savings goals, recognize which investment options are really for you, list ways to save for retirement, and large expense goals. So let's get into it after I introduce myself. Again, I'm Chris Shea, financial advisor with BPS Financial Services. I'm a financial planning and implementation partner with my clients to help them implement the strategies to help them achieve their short-term and long-term goals. Pretty simple, yet there's a lot to it, as we'll find out a little bit as we go through paying yourself first. First of all, what does it mean to pay yourself first? It means put money in savings before paying your bills. That's not to say don't pay your mortgage. Please pay your mortgage. Pay the bills you have to, but also be cognizant of it, right? A bill can also be going out to dinner. Do you go out to dinner or do you put money in savings? Do you buy a really fancy luxury car or do you buy an economy car? Or do you put money in a savings? Determine which level of bills you want versus your savings. That's kind of what it means, paying yourself first. Think about what's in your best interest today and tomorrow. So why would you want to save money before paying your bills? To be able to have money in case something comes up. I see it on television a lot. There are commercials about buying insurance or things like refrigerators or other home items, dishwashers. You also have car insurance for repair bills, which really isn't car insurance because car insurance is for expensive things that are not expected, not just some repairs. You should expect that you're gonna have to repair your car and save money for it so you don't have to give your money to someone else to pay for something you could have done yourself. Have money in an emergency fund so that when something comes up, you don't have to go to a credit card. I like to use a figure of $10,000 in the bank. So if you have a $3,000 bill comes up, you pay for it, maybe on a credit card right away, but then you go to the emergency fund, get the money out, pay off your credit card. You're not going to pay 15, 20, 25% in interest. You're going to save your money by not paying interest. Or there are things you might want to save for. And we'll talk about that as well. So we've got an activity guide that's in association with this. And there's a couple of statements that I want you to think about and then go into the activity guide and check out, right? Think about savings, goals, and the amount of time you need to save. Then fill that out, right? A good goal for some people is a down payment on a car. $30,000 car, you want to put $5,000 down. Okay, you can afford to save $400 a month. How long is it going to take you? A year-ish, right? You got to figure that out. Then activity 2, we're going to talk about some strategies here in a little bit. But then you can fill that out. Strategies to save for my goals. What are you going to do? How are you going to not spend so much money? How are you going to make your financial goals happen? How are you going to pay yourself first? One of the concepts we want to talk about is interest and compound interest. Interest is the amount of money financial institutions pay you, keeping money in deposit with them. Alternatively, it's also interest that you pay a credit card company or a bank for money that they loan to you. Usually the interest paid to you is less than what you'll pay out. Okay. Compound interest. Money earned on previously paid interest and your account. This is good if you have no debt and you've got compound interest. If you have debt, compound interest can be a killer. Interest can be compounded daily, monthly, annually. You got to check that out. And it's usually expected as a percentage. And it's always calculated by the amount of money that's in the account, whether it's yours or a credit card. But if you're paying yourself first, it should be in yours. All right, annual percentage yield and the rule of 72. This is a very scary computation for a lot of people on the annual percentage yields. However, it's fairly straightforward. It's the amount of interest you'll earn on a yearly basis expressed as a percentage, and it includes the effects of compounding. It should be used to compare savings products, not just the interest rate, because some are expected in months and some are expressed in years. So N is the number of months or years. Interest is the nominal interest rate that they list, 1%, 2%, 3%. And then you get the annual percentage rate just by putting it into the equation. They can also provide that to you, and most of the times they have to. Rule of 72, on the other hand, this is one for you to invest and figure out how long it's going to take for your savings to double in value. Again, lots of terms in there. But essentially, if you've got a 4% interest rate, your savings are going to double in 18 years. 72 divided by 4 equals 18. All right, you can do it backwards. You can figure out the interest rate needed to double your savings in a set period of time. You want to do 12 years. You want to double your money. You need a 6% return. And again, in the example at the bottom, double your value in 20 years, you need 3.6% interest rate. It's straight math. It works with the compounding. It's the rule of 72. Savings options. You got two basic ways: open a savings account at a bank or a credit union. They're insured. You can put it there. Invest your money, not fairly insured, and can lose value. Start with a savings account, unless you're investing your money through a 401k plan. But if you have taxable money that you've paid taxes on, put it in the savings account until you build up, again, about a $10,000 cushion, and then you can start to invest. But you want to make sure you got money in a savings account so that in case something goes awry, you can easily access it and not have to pay taxes or penalties. Make sure you got that savings account. It's going to be a strong foundation for you. Now we're going to talk about some savings products here: money market account, certificate of deposit, and a statement savings account. An account definitions are on the right-hand side. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to read them pretty quickly, and maybe you can play along at home and think about it for yourself. Leave money for a set period of time. Make deposits and withdrawals. Not allowed. Nope. No deposits, no withdrawals. Earn a higher interest rate with longer terms, but you pay a fee for withdrawal before the term's ended. That's the definition of a certificate of deposit. You go to a bank, you agree to give them money for X period of time, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They're going to give you an interest rate. Can't take it out. Can't deposit any more money. And you got to pay a fee if you want to take your money out. Requires a higher minimum balance to earn interest, usually, but it also pays a higher interest rate for higher balances. Doesn't have a fixed term. Allows you to put money in and take money out. It's a money market account. That's through your investments in an investment account. The cash is usually stored in a money market account, so you get a little bit of a return. Not huge, but you get a little bit of a return. Then pays interest on your balance. Have a minimum daily balance to be getting interest. Low minimum to deposit in the opening. Statement savings account at your bank. Individual development account. These are for people that are having financial challenges and want to save money. They're match savings accounts, help low-income families save money and become financially independent. Talk to your banks or financial institutions about this. If this is where you or a loved one stand, get some help. You can use it for job training, college, small businesses, even a home purchase. Again, for low-income families, it can be a great tool by which you can achieve some financial growth. 529 college savings plans. They're educational savings plans operated by the state, designed to help families set aside funds to pay for future college. You got a 529 prepaid tuition plan and a savings plan. Talk to someone to figure out which one is best for you. The prepaid is if you know you want to go into school in a certain state. The 529 can use anywhere. How do you buy an investment? And what is an investment? You hear it all the time. It's a long-term savings option for future income and financial benefit. What does that mean? It means you're going to put money in and hopefully in 5, 10, 20 years, it's going to be worth a lot more money. These products are not federally insured. They go up, they go down on a daily basis. You got to weigh your risks and the returns and figure out what your tolerance is. You want to be diversified when you start to invest because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, because if that fails, you can lose everything. You earn money in a couple ways. One, you buy low and you sell high. Also, you can earn money along the way. You can earn dividends and interest. If you buy a bond, it's called interest. If you buy a stock that pays money out on a regular basis, that's called a dividend. These are ways in which you can make money while you're still invested. It just doesn't go based upon the price of the stock. It's a distribution of funds based upon the earnings. Again, before you invest, save your money. Have a cushion of 3 to 6 months so that you don't wind up having to go into your investments, sell them, and pay taxes on it. Have the money in the bank in case something goes awry. You want to talk to a bank, a reputable financial advisor, an investment firm. You can ask me questions. I'm an open book in terms of trying to be able to help you. I'm a financial advisor. You can ask your employer about retirement accounts. If you've got a 401k or 403b, start to put money into there while you're saving money, because it's going to come out of your paycheck. You're never going to see it. You're never going to spend it. And also do your own research. We've all got phones. We've all got Wi-Fi. We've all got internet. Take some time, do some research, find someone to help you and work with you to put you in a position where you're paying yourself first and giving yourself the maximum benefit that you can to get what you want out of life. Now I'm going to talk about some investment products: bonds, mutual funds, retirement investments, stocks, U.S. securities, treasuries. Yes, we're going to go through it. It's going to be a lot, but hopefully it's going to be, again, an introduction so that when you talk to a financial professional, it doesn't sound like gobbledygook. Okay? We're going to do the same things we did with the savings account. We're going to name the investment product: bonds, mutual funds, retirement investments, stocks, U.S. Treasury securities. Okay? When you loan money to a corporation or the government for a certain period of time, that's a bond. You're giving money to them. They're going to give it back to you with interest. That's a bond. You own a share part of a company. You might receive periodic dividends when the company makes a profit. Those are stocks. That's where you go to the stock market, you buy it. If it goes up, you're making money, but they also might pay you dividends along the way. Loan money to the government can select from products based upon their face value and maturity date. These are U.S. Treasury securities. This is what you hear with T-bills and T-notes and those types of denominations. When you invest your money over a long period of time, so you'll have money to live on when you're no longer working. Retirement investments: 401k, 403b, 457, simple IRA, SEP IRA. Lots of terms. All of them means you got a retirement account. You'll be able to take money out of it much later on in life when you need it after you're done working. And the last one, a product allows you to invest with other investors in investment products, all mutual funds. This is where you hear this mutual fund is doing this mutual fund is doing that. They're essentially investing for people, hopefully making better choices because they've got more information. Going to dive into them a little bit. All right, usually U.S. Treasury securities, they are safe because they're backed by the U.S. government. These are Treasury bills, Treasury notes, Treasury inflation protected securities, TIPS, Treasury bonds. This is where you're giving the money for a certain period of time. They're going to give it back to you. Savings bonds, I bonds and double E bonds. I bonds are purchased at face value, and then you get more in the future. Double E bonds, purchase them at usually half the price, and over a period of time, you invest $500, you get $1,000 back after a certain period of time. Corporate bonds, company promises to repay the amount of money you lend to them on a specific date. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They'll all have a corporate bond that they're going to say, we're going to pay you 3%, 4%, 5% interest until we repay you back. You'll get the money over a period of time. You get paid before any of the dividends get paid out as well. It's a preferred position in a company, the debt. Stocks, you own part share of a company. You may receive dividends if the company profits, but again, they've got to pay the debt first. So the debt is in a better position to receive the profits. And the investment is going to change up or down, both probably according to the market on a daily basis. And you have very little control over that. You just got to go with what it is. Mutual funds. Again, we talked about this a little bit. It's a product that combines money from many investors, can include stocks, bonds, real estate, may pay dividends, changes in value of the stock market. It does offer you diversity. All right, it allows you to diversify your portfolio, which spread your risk of loss across a lot of different things. You're less likely to be unsuccessful if you've got diversification. Variable annuities, they're an insurance contract, unless that's your premium. In a lot of mutual fund-like investments, they can be really good for certain people in given circumstances, but they do have some negatives as well. They are insurance-based, so there can be guarantees, like there's a life benefit guarantee on it. They do have high fees. Usually there are surrender charges for early withdrawals, tax penalties before age 59 and a half. If you're going to invest in a variable annuity, you've got to read the contract and make sure you understand it, because it is a contract and it will be binding. So make sure you know what you're getting into. Investment products, individual retirement accounts may include combination of investment products, tax exempt, fluctuate with the market, traditional Roth IRAs. Got a whole thing that talks about IRAs. 401k and 403b plans. These are offered by companies depending upon their tax status. Public schools and tax exempt organizations have the 403b. For-profit companies have the 401k usually. Designate a percentage of your pay taken out before taxes or a dollar amount. And employers may match the contribution. They don't have to, but they can, as an incentive for you to participate. How to choose the best investment? Yeah, that's a really good question. First off, you're in a great spot right now to learn as much as possible. Next, you got to consider how long you plan to keep the money in the investment. Is it for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years? Got to know that. Diversify your investments. Diversification is key. You can hit home runs or strike out if you buy one thing. Diversification, you're less likely to strike out, less likely to hit the home run as well. But if you're investing for 30, 40 years, you're probably better off with a diversification. You want to reevaluate your products periodically. My clients, we have an annual review. Make sure that everything is where they want and they're invested in a manner that is suitable still for where they're at. because circumstances change and you've got to adapt to them. And you've got to determine your risk tolerance. This is, do you want to be risky and get better returns, or less risky and get lower returns? Well, this can be fluctuating and this is a little bit more steady. So which one do you want? And which one do you need? It's probably just as much of a question and concern, because sometimes what you want, you might need to do something different, or you can get away with less risk. I don't know. It depends upon your circumstances, and you got to figure that out. Other investments, saving for retirement, some strategies as well. Retirement. If you got it in the near future, pump as much money into that retirement account as possible. If you're over the age of 50, they allow for increased contributions from your paychecks. Try and get rid of your debt at the same time. I know saving and paying down debt is hard, but again, this is where the budgeting factor comes in, and you can figure that out. And you want to develop a plan to stretch your money through retirement. Again, this usually involves talking to someone so they can help you out and make you best choices with you. If you own a business, you could do that as well in retirement. Turn something you love to do into making money. I know people that start to be consultants. I know people that start to sell healthcare products. Lots of different things you can do in retirement to help you save money and also keep busy and give you something to do. In addition, there's equity in your home if you own a home. In this example, there's $50,000 of equity. You can take out loans against that and other things. But that's another way to potentially access some capital. Decision factors. How much money do you want to save over time? What do you need to save it for? What are you going to spend it on? If you don't know what you're going to spend it on, you got to figure that out. How much can you leave of your money to heirs? Look at that. Maybe it's important to you, maybe it's not. Then how do you feel about risking your money? Right? Do you want to be aggressive or not? Now we've got another activity. Pay yourself first action plan. Determine what factors can affect your savings decision. And determine short and long-term actions you can take. Go out to dinner less. Or if you're going to go out to dinner, have drinks and appetizers at home, and then go have less out where you spend less. What are you willing to do to save towards your goals? What are you willing to give up? There is a cost to savings. It doesn't have to be great. It can just be little things. Figure that out. So hopefully in this presentation, you learn a little bit about paying yourself first. You're probably going to have a lot of questions. If you do, you can feel free to ask them to me. But hopefully you've also learned a lot to at least give you the basics of how to pay yourself first. And I'd ask you to evaluate the training. If you got anything that you want me to improve upon, you think I could do better at, I'm always willing to be open for that. So in summary, hopefully you've learned what it means to pay yourself first and how you can benefit from doing it, because it's all about you and your money and your life. Hopefully I've given you a couple of tips on saving more money, showing you how money can grow with compound interest, give you some saving options and investment options for both, because you got to do both, you got to save and invest. And again, a little bit of a starter on what the best savings options are for you and best investment options. You're probably going to want to talk to a professional, though, to get some additional help. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help anyone. Again, I thank you for your time on learning about paying yourself first.